Major Lemuel Montgomery, he was from Nashville, Tennessee, just like, or they were living in the time in Nashville, Tennessee, just like Andrew Jackson, and they were actually really good friends. They were both lawyers up in Nashville, and he couldn't bring himself to throw Lemuel into the river. So he had Lemuel buried, and we believe it was right near the barricade. Lemuel lost his life as he was trying to get over the barricade when they charged. A primary account states that he shot through one of the portholes, then began climbing, and then when he was just breaching the barricade, he was shot and killed. So Jackson decides to bury him out by the barricade. So you might be asking, well, why is he here? Well, in 1838, 1839, roughly, there was a little town cropping up in the area called Dudleyville. Anyone know where Dudleyville is? Okay. So Dudleyville, they wanted to kind of attract some attention to their new up-and-coming town. And so they said, well, what about getting that war hero over that fought at Horseshoe Bend? Let's bring him over here as kind of like an attraction. And so they tracked down a former slave that was here at the battle. His name was Americus Hammock, and we believe he was a drummer for Andrew Jackson. He might be the one who did the long roll to signify or signal the charge. We don't know. But we believe he was a drummer, and he helped bury Lemuel out by the barricade. And so they tracked Americus Hammock down, and they asked him, do you think you could take us back to where you buried Lemuel? And he said, yeah, I think I could. And so he took a couple individuals, and they started digging around, and they found Lemuel's body. They dug him up, and they took his remains over to Dudleyville. And that's where he laid until 1972. In 1972, the Daughters of the American Revolution and Lemuel's family, his ancestors, they're like, can we bring Lemuel back to where maybe he should belong? We were a national park at that time, so we were then protected, and they kind of wanted his body, his remains, to be back here. And so they petitioned the government, and the federal government said, yeah, we can do that. So they dug Lemuel up from Dudleyville, and they brought him back here, and they buried him here. So Lemuel has traveled quite a bit, even after the battle, and after he died here on the battlefield. So.
And it didn't help Dudleyville grow any.
I don't think so. No. Absolutely. Yeah. So this is the only burial that we know of from the battle.
Where did you say Dudleyville is at?
Dudleyville, help me out, people, because I just got here.
Dadeville and Lafayette.
Okay.
If you take some of the, I can't tell you the road name. If you take some of the back roads between Dadeville and Lafayette, you'll see signs. Actually, there's a sign on 280.
Is it? Yeah, I thought there was.
That says Dudleyville. Yeah, in Dadeville.
Okay.
There's a sign that's on 280 that says you can turn here to go to Dudleyville.
Awesome, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
It is really like I say. I wouldn't even say it's a crossroad. It's just like the T.
Yeah.
That's it.
Any other questions? So, you see the cannon up there? We know that Jackson's cannon was not up there. We've done some archaeology projects here. All of our archaeological work is done by SEAC, the Southeast Archaeological Center. They're based out of Florida, and they do a lot of archaeology in national parks here in the Southeast. And so they came out and they do ground penetrating radar. And what they can determine by using ground penetrating radar all through here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. So with the cannon, sorry about that, metal detectors, they did use metal detectors, and they found the grape shot and the cannonballs that were shot from these cannons. And what they did is they mapped it out, and they follow that back, basically look at the cone of where the shot was, and they can follow that back to its point of origin, basically. And so with that research, we believe that his cannons were down the hill almost about where these trees start. So they were not up on the top of Gun Hill. They were down here, possibly in this area here. All right. The ground penetrating radar that I was talking about, that we also know that where the barricade, where we have those white posts, it's pretty close to where the actual barricade is located, but we do now know that some of the sections are a little bit in front of those white posts, and they're more at an angle this way, as opposed to kind of straight across this way. They're coming out towards us down that way. So that, again, they're using ground penetrating radar to find anomalies in the ground where those logs were, and they've rotted away, and they can see the palisades, and it's just amazing. So, you know, being a national park is one, you know, we preserve and protect, and we ask that you don't take any artifacts, and, you know, you leave everything behind. And one of the reasons is because we're still learning exactly what went on here. So, you know, we just ask that if you find an artifact, because it happens, you know, you just leave it where it is, and you get one of us, and you show us, and that's how we learn more about this battle and our history. So, anyone have any questions?
Is it LiDAR that they use, or just a ground penetrating sonar?
How about
Ground penetrating sonar, I believe, but don't quote me on that.
I know they started using LiDAR in Egypt, and what, in the last 10 years? And they've uncovered more in the last 10 years and learned more.
Is that the professor from University of Alabama, Birmingham?
Me.
We'll talk. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was wondering if it was the same thing, or if there was ever any future intentions of coming back over the whole area with a different type of sonar.
Yeah, so to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know. We can look that up, though. I got a book back here. Anybody else have any questions? Well, what I'm thinking is I was going to go up here and just briefly talk a little bit about the monument up there and then head on back. I want to definitely get you all back for the stickball game for the kids that starts at 12. So if that's okay with you all.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So